Okay, here in last class in based on the capillary rise method or capillarity phenomena, 6 note points were discussed. Next, 7th note point. Here there is a U-shaped tube in which there are two vertical limbs or vertical tubes having different radius of cross section. The radius of cross section of this vertical limb or tube is R1. For this vertical limb or tube, the radius of cross section is R2. Suppose here radii are very large. If capillarity action is not there, capillarity phenomena is not applicable here. If it is not there, then when you take the liquid in both the limbs, then here, whenever the liquid column is under equilibrium, then pressure at this point must be same. That's why height of the liquid column here and here must be same in order to have the same pressure at this point and at this point. Suppose if capillarity action is there, capillarity phenomena is applicable here. That means whenever these two vertical limbs or vertical tubes having radii of cross section very small, just like these are the capillary bores, these are the capillary tubes. These two vertical tubes behaves like capillary tubes. In such case, capillarity action is to be taken into account. When you consider the capillarity action, then as this capillary tube having radius of cross section less than this one, whenever R is less, what about the capillary rise in this narrow tube? Compared with this one, it is the narrow tube. Is the capillary rise is more in narrow tube or more in broader tube? In which tube the capillary rise is more? In which tube the capillary rise is more? Is it more in narrow tube or broad tube? More in narrow tube. Because according to Zurin's law, RH is equal constant. RH is inversely proportional to R. Where radius of cross section is less, the capillary rise will be more in this case. That's why the liquid level rises to greater extent here. Suppose the liquid level rises here because of capillarity action also. Here, as the radius is large, the rise will be in the liquid level will be less compared with this one. So this is the, so these are the meniscus. Here in the liquid, in this liquid column or in this capillary tube, it is the meniscus. In this capillary tube, it is the meniscus. Okay. From the bottom of the this U-shaped tube, suppose the height of the meniscus here, height of the bottom surface, the height of the liquid column in the meniscus, height of the liquid column in the narrow tube, that is say H1. H1 means height of the liquid column just below the surface of the meniscus in the narrow capillary tube. Okay. In this narrow capillary tube or in this vertical limb, just below the surface of the meniscus, the height of the surface of the meniscus, bottom of the meniscus from the bottom of the U-shaped tube, that is H1. Here, this is say H2. Height of the liquid column in the height of the liquid column in this right capillary tube is H2, left capillary tube is H1. These are the heights of the liquid column just below the surface of the meniscus. Okay. Suppose these are the here just below the meniscus. This is the point say A, just below the meniscus. Just below the meniscus, you consider the point A. Just below the meniscus in this tube, the point say B. Okay, what is the just below the meniscus? What is the pressure of the liquid? Here, as these tubes are open to atmosphere, no doubt atmosphere pressure acts on the surface of the meniscus here and here. Here is the angle of contact less than 90 or greater than 90 in this case, in case of this liquid. As you know the nature of the meniscus here, how the shape of the meniscus is there already, it is drawn. So based on this, is the angle of contact is more than 90 or less than 90? Less than 90. That's why liquid level rises. Less than 90. That's why liquid level rises. Hence, it is the concave shape. No, suppose it is the pure water and glass. For pure water and glass. Water and glass capillary tube, then theta is equal to 0 degree. When theta is equal to 0 degree, almost all it is the spherical shape. No, it is the hemispherical shape. No, it is also hemispherical shape. Whenever it is hemispherical shape, definitely as it is the hemispherical shape, definitely the radius of curvature is equal to radius of the meniscus is equal to R2. Here radius of the meniscus is R1. Okay, now on the surface of the meniscus, atmosphere pressure P0 acts. Just below the meniscus at a point P, pressure is say PA. Just below the meniscus at B, the pressure is say PB. Then is atmospheric pressure is more or just below the meniscus pressure is more? Is atmospheric pressure is more or just below the meniscus pressure is more? As it is depressed, the pressure at the top of the meniscus is more. That's why it is depressed like this. That's why P naught is greater now. That's why the net pressure difference across the meniscus is P naught minus this PA. That is the excess of pressure, which is equal to, as it is having convex, concave surface, one single surface only, 2T by, where T is the surface tension of the liquid, 2T by radius of this meniscus is R1. From this pressure at the point A, just below the meniscus, PA is equal to P naught minus 2T by R1. Similarly, at this point, it is also depressed. That's why pressure here also P naught is greater than pressure at B. That's why P naught minus PB is equal to 2T by radius of the meniscus is R2. Implies PB is equal to P naught minus 2T by R2. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Now, under equilibrium of the liquid column in the U-shaped tube, in the same horizontal level, pressures must be same. In the same horizontal level, pressures must be same under equilibrium. So, under equilibrium, suppose if the fluid is flowing in the same horizontal plane, at the different points, the pressures are not equal if the fluid is in flow. But as the fluid is stationary, or as the fluid is under equilibrium, at the same horizontal level, pressure must be same. Pressure at this point, pressure at this point, pressure at this point, all must be same. Here, this is the point say C, it is the point say D. Then under equilibrium, pressure at C must be equal to pressure at D. What is the pressure at C? Pressure at C means already just below the meniscus, as the pressure is PA. The same pressure will act at this point also, no? Because of Pascal's law. Same pressure PA acts, then pressure due to height of this liquid column also acts at this point. So total pressure at this point, here we should not consider P naught, because after consider P naught only, pressure at A we have calculated. That's why just below the meniscus means almost all from this height, just below the meniscus, as the pressure is PA, the same pressure PA acts at each and every point, even at the point C also. And moreover, pressure due to height of the liquid column also acts at this point. That's why total pressure at this point is equal to pressure at A, PA, that acts at this point, plus pressure due to height of the liquid column, H1 into density of liquid, say rho into C. Density of the liquid is rho. That is equal to pressure at D. Pressure at D is equal to just below the meniscus, pressure is PB plus pressure due to height of liquid column, H2 density into C. What is PA? Already PA we got here. P naught minus 2T by R1 plus H1 rho Z is equal to PB means P naught minus 2T by R2 plus H2 rho Z. Here the question is, what is the difference in heights of the liquid columns in the two tubes? What is the difference between vertical heights of liquid columns in the two tubes? They asked. Here the meniscus is up to this level. Here the meniscus is up to this level. So the difference in heights means this one, H. H we have to calculate. Here H is equal to, as H1 is greater, H1 minus H2 is equal to H. That is equal to question mark. So here P naught cancel. Okay. H1 minus H2 we need. You bring this H2 rho Z to left and this bring to right. Then H1 rho Z minus H2 rho Z is equal to plus 2T by R1. You bring this to right. Then 2T by R1 minus 2T by R2. Therefore, you take rho Z common. H1 minus H2 is equal to, here you take 2T common, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Okay. Therefore, vertical difference between the vertical heights of the liquid columns. Therefore, difference between vertical heights of liquid columns in two vertical tubes, vertical limbs under equilibrium, comma, H is equal to H1 minus H2, that is equal to H is equal to, or H1 minus H2, that is equal to this by this. That means 2T into, you take LCM, R2 minus R1 by R1 R2 by this rho Z. Sometimes he will be given difference between the heights of the two liquid columns in the two tubes when capillarity phenomena is considered. Then what is the surface tension? They may be asked. What is the surface tension they may be asked. So this is the formula. From this, what is the surface tension means? Of course, you don't remember this formula. By following this method only you do. From this, what about the surface tension means? T is equal to surface tension comma T is equal to do cross multiplication. Rho g H into R1 R2 rho g H into cross multiplication R1 R2 whole by 2 into R2 minus R1. This is the formula for surface tension. Maybe ask like this or maybe ask like this. If you are given surface tension, they may ask what is the vertical difference between the heights of the liquid columns. If they give H, then they ask to find what is the surface tension. By this phenomena, we can find. Okay, this is also very, very important one. Once it was given in advance. Okay, most important, right? Okay, have you noted? Have you noted this one? Okay, okay. Shall I erase this one? This part. Okay. Right. Next, eighth one. Suppose in a beaker, the liquid is taken up to certain level. The liquid is taken up to certain level, and a capillary tube is kept vertically so that certain part of length of the capillary tube is inside the liquid. The radius of the capillary tube is smaller. Here, by blowing the air into the capillary tube, here this is the liquid. Actually, initially the capillary tube is kept like this, and here this is the liquid totally inside the capillary tube. Also, liquid level rises because of capillarity phenomena. Like this. Actually, because of capillarity phenomena, the liquid level rises up to this. Okay. Now the air is blown into this one. Air is blown. Air blown into this one with certain pressure, so that a bubble of radius small r is produced here. A bubble of radius small r is produced at the bottom of the capillary tube. The bottom of the capillary tube is at a depth say small h. Here, when compared with height, the radius of the bubble is negligible. That's why bottom of the capillary tube and the surface of the liquid both are at a depth equal to say h. Okay. Suppose when the lower end of the capillary tube is kept at a depth h, then by means of blowing the air into the capillary tube, suppose if the air bubble of radius r is produced at this one, if the surface tension of the liquid is T, then what is the total pressure of the air inside the bubble? Total pressure of the air inside the bubble under equilibrium. Total pressure inside the bubble. Total pressure inside the bubble capital T is equal to, you see, here at this point at the bubble, when compared with the high depth of the surface depth of the bubble, The size of the bubble is very small. That's why the depth of the bubble can be taken as the depth of the capillary tube inside the liquid only. Okay. So here, as atmospheric pressure acts on the surface of the liquid, the same pressure acts at this point also. So atmospheric pressure is there. Due to depth of the liquid, due to depth of the bubble H, due to this depth of the liquid also, the pressure acts on the liquid column, that is equal to H rho Z plus some extra pressure is there no over the surface. The extra pressure is there due to surface tension inside the liquid, air bubble. What is the extra pressure inside the air bubble? 2T by R no? That 2T by R is also there. 2T by radius of the bubble or radius of the capillary tube, both are same. Suppose the radius of the bubble produced here is same as the radius of the capillary tube, then that is 2T by small r. Okay. This is the total pressure inside the bubble, small capital P. Total pressure inside the bubble is equal to capital P. Okay. Now, they may ask, what is the mouth pressure? Mouth pressure required. Mouth pressure means additionally over the atmosphere pressure, what is the pressure to be applied on the bubble to produce the bubble of radius r? And compared with the atmosphere pressure, what is the extra pressure to be applied? Compared to atmosphere pressure, the extra pressure needed is P minus P naught no, only no. That is called mouth pressure. Mouth pressure required to produce the bubble. Mouth pressure P minus P naught. That is the mouth pressure required. That is equal to H rho Z plus 2T by small r. It is the mouth pressure required. Okay. So total pressure inside the bubble at a depth is equal to this one, and the mouth pressure required to produce the bubble of radius r at a depth H by means of the capillary tube is equal to this one, where r is the bubble radius or r is the radius of the capillary tube we can use. Okay. Next. Next, ninth one. Okay, have you noted this one? When R2 is equal to R1. No, it is not the combination of two bubbles, no. It is not the combination of two bubbles. Swaran, Sriram. It is not combination of the two bubbles. We should not use that formula, no. In previous case, okay, in previous case, when R1 is equal to R2, surface tension is infinity means not infinity actually, theoretically. Okay, both are at the same, both levels are same. Both levels are same. The capillary rise in both the capillary tubes are same. Okay, that is only. Next, here, suppose we have taken a beaker. When capillary tube is kept in a beaker, the liquid level rises up to certain height. The liquid level rises up to certain height here, say, up to this height. The capillary rise is equal to small h. When capillary tube is kept in a liquid vertically, then the liquid level rises up to a height small h. When the same capillary tube is kept at an angle 30 degree with vertical like this, what is the capillary rise? What is the capillary rise? Capillary rise means vertical height of the liquid column only. That is same. Even the capillary tube is kept like this, the vertical height of the liquid column remains same, but length of the liquid column in the capillary tube will increase. Okay. Now, whenever the capillary tube is kept vertically, the capillary rise is equal to h. Now, here, actually, the length of the capillary tube inside the liquid is greater than double the height of the liquid column, double the capillary rise. The length of the capillary, the total length of the capillary tube inside the liquid is greater than the capillary rise. అంటే ఈ లెంత్ క్యాపిలరీ రైజ్ కంటే ఎక్కువ లెంత్ ఉండేట్టుగా లిక్విడ్ లో సబ్మిట్ చేసాం అనుకుందాం. When it is here, because of capillarity action, the liquid level rises up to certain height. Okay, this is greater than, this length is equal to this length, that is equal to greater than L, greater than this length L, say that is greater than small h, greater than small h. Okay, now you remove this capillary tube from the beaker and you kept vertically. When the capillary tube is removed from the beaker and kept vertically like this, then some liquid comes out drop by drop and falls. And what is the length of the remaining liquid column in the capillary tube? What is the length of the remaining liquid column in the capillary tube? Length of the remaining liquid column in the capillary tube, or what length of the liquid column will be held by the capillary tube without falling? That is the case. Okay, here whenever the capillary tube is kept like this, because of capillarity phenomena, this liquid surface is like this, no doubt. As it is taken out from this one, the surface, if you observe the bottom surface of liquid column here, it is free from the this liquid in the beaker as it is come out. Okay, that's why the shape of the liquid column at the bottom is also equal to this one, because the height, because of height of liquid column, the pressure acts at this point and the meniscus is depressed like this. That's why the shape of the meniscus is like this. Once they asked only shape of the meniscus, that's all. Here, what is the length of the liquid column? This length they asked. Length of liquid column that is held by the tube. L dash is equal to how much? L dash is equal to how much? Okay. Here, as the capillary rise is small h, then if the surface tension of the liquid is capital T, then capital T is equal to, according to capillary rise method, what is the formula for surface tension of the liquid in the taken the beaker? Surface tension T is equal to H rho RH rho z by, R means radius of the capillary tube, RH rho z by 2 cos theta, no? RH rho z by 2 cos theta. Surface tension T is equal to RH rho z by 2 cos theta. For pure water and glass, if you take for pure water and glass, theta is equal to 0. Therefore, surface tension is equal to RH rho z by 2. Implies H is equal to 2T by R rho z. This is equation 1. Okay, now here whenever the this capillary tube is removed from the liquid and when it is kept vertically, some liquid comes out drop by drop and the remaining liquid, the shape of the remaining liquid is like this. Then what is the length of the liquid column that hold in the capillary tube? Length of the liquid column, hold in the capillary tube, capillary tube is equal to L dash, that is equal to question mark. Length of the capillary tube, L dash is equal to question mark. Okay, you see, because of here at this point of contact, the surface tension acts along the tangential direction in this direction, no? Then angle of contact is theta. Then if it is theta, angle of contact is theta, this is also theta. Then this is equal to T cos theta. Okay, at this point also, because of surface tension is along this direction, angle of contact theta. So force due to surface tension acts in this direction, that is also equal to T cos theta. Okay, now on the meniscus of the capillary tube here, in this upper meniscus, force due to surface tension acts on the liquid column in vertical upward direction is equal to T cos theta into length of the free liquid surface in contact with the glass inner walls of the glass to capillary tube is equal to 2 pi small r. So 2 pi small r. Similarly here also, that's why into 2. This is the total force due to surface tension acts on the liquid column in the capillary tube in vertically upward direction. Okay, here whenever this force is equal to balances by, this force balances the weight of the liquid column in the capillary tube. Up to that height, the liquid column remains in the capillary tube and the remaining liquid comes out drop by drop and falls. Okay, so therefore whenever the liquid column of height L by L dash is held by the capillary tube, then the force due to surface tension acts on the liquid column vertical upwards must be equal to weight of the liquid column in the capillary tube. Okay, from this you see 4T cos theta into pi r is equal to mass, means mass of liquid column means area of cross section approximately, area of cross section is pi r square into length of the liquid column L dash gives volume into density gives mass into C, weight. Okay, here pi r cancel. Okay, then L dash is equal to 4t cos theta by rho into C. You keep like this only. You don't change the theta because we substituted, we have written in terms of theta only, you write like that only. Enough. Okay, from this formula, L dash is equal to 4t cos theta by rho Z. Or what about L dash? What about L dash? Therefore, L dash is equal to 4 by rho Z into what about t cos theta? T cos theta is equal to what? T cos theta is equal to RH rho Z by 2. Is it sure or here R is there? I think R is there. R rho Z 4 t cos theta is L dash is equal to t cos theta 4t cos theta by R rho Z. Okay. So now L dash is equal to 4 by R rho Z into t cos theta means RH rho Z by 2. Okay. Therefore here R rho Z cancel. 2 2s are. Therefore L dash is equal to 2H. So whenever the capillary tube is dipped in the liquid and when it is taken out, then the length of the liquid column that remains in the capillary tube without falling is twice the capillary rise. This point is very, very important. Twice the capillary rise. Therefore, you write the conclusion. Therefore, when capillary tube is dipped in liquid and taken out from the liquid as shown in figure, comma, the maximum length L dash of the liquid column the maximum length of the liquid column held by the capillary tube, due to ST surface tension is L dash is equal to 2H. Is L dash equal to 2H, that is equal to double the capillary rise or 2 times the capillary rise. 2 times the capillary rise is equal to 2 times the capillary rise. It is the maximum length of the liquid column held by the capillary tube due to surface tension. 2 times the capillary rise. Suppose here, okay, I will say one more example. Capillary rise. Capillary rise means from the surface of the liquid in the beaker up to the bottom of the meniscus, whatever the length of the liquid, that is the capillary rise H1. The length of the capillary tube inside the liquid is H2. Okay, where H2 less than H1. Then maximum length of the liquid column that remains in the capillary tube when it is taken out is equal to what? Here the capillary rise is H1 and length of the capillary tube inside the liquid is H2, where H2 less than H1. When the capillary tube is removed from the beaker and when it is held vertically like this, then that H1 length remains here. Actually, maximum length that can be held is equal to twice the capillary rise. But here, the capillary tube of length H2, which is less than H1, is in the liquid. That's why this length of liquid column in the capillary tube is less than this one only. That's why that total length is held is equal to H1 plus H2 only. H1 plus H2. H1 plus H2. Okay, because this is H2, this is H2, this is H1. So here H2 less than H1. In such case, total length of the liquid column that can be holded by the capillary tube is equal to H1 plus H2. Okay, next. Suppose this is equal to capillary rise is equal to H1. The length of the liquid column in the capillary, the length of the liquid column in the length of the capillary tube inside the liquid column is H2. H2 greater than H1. Then when it is taken out, when the capillary tube is taken out, the length of liquid column that is held by the capillary tube is what? This length is what? Anybody else? Maximum length of the liquid column that can be held by the capillary tube is equal to only twice the capillary rise. Here, this is H1 capillary rise. Maximum length is equal to 2H1 only, but this length of the liquid column, capillary tube inside the liquid column is equal to greater than H1. So when it is taken out, some liquid expels and some liquid comes out, and the remaining length of the liquid column here is equal to H1. It is H1. So maximum length is equal to 2H1 only. Suppose if the length of the capillary tube inside the liquid column is less than the capillary rise as here, then total length of the liquid column is held is equal to H1 plus H2. But here, if H2 is greater than H1, then twice the H1 only, the length of the liquid column that can be held by the capillary tube due to surface tension. Okay, that is good. So it is the important point. This is also. Next. Shall I erase this one? Shall I erase? Okay, note down. Shall I erase? Okay. Sometimes you may not be given a capital rise here, but surface tension will be given. Surface tension, radius of the capillary tube, angle of contact, everything is given. Because of capillarity phenomena, surface tension T is equal to. Because of capillarity phenomena, surface tension T is equal to RH rho z by 2 cos theta is there, no? From that H value, you substitute here. Okay, if you are given like that, right? Next, 12th one. Suppose there is a beaker. There is a beaker and it is a capillary tube. Of course, it is capillary tube only. In order to see the diagram here, I drawn the capillary tube with more diameter or more radius. Okay. But actually, capillary tube is not this much size. But in order to understand the situation here, I drawn with more radius. This is the diameter of the capillary tube. Walls are not drawn. These walls are not drawn. Here, it is filled with liquid. It is filled, the beaker is filled with liquid up to certain height. Okay, it is the surface of liquid in the beaker. Because of capillarity phenomena, the liquid level rises here. But in this capillary tube, in the bore of the capillary tube, a uniform rod is inserted in the bore of the capillary tube and it is kept parallel to the bore of the capillary tube as in the diagram. It is the glass rod. It is the glass rod. It is the glass rod. The glass rod is kept inside the bore of the capillary tube parallel to its length symmetrically. Symmetrically means whatever the gap here, the gap here is also same. The glass rod is kept symmetrically. This is glass rod and it is the capillary tube. So the glass rod is kept symmetrically in the bore of the capillary tube as in the diagram. Here, this space between the bore in the capillary tube and glass rod, there is a space. This base behaves like a capillary bore or capillary hole. So because of capillarity phenomena, whatever the liquid taken in the beaker, because of capillarity phenomena, the liquid level rises in the capillary space. So because of capillarity phenomena, the liquid level rises up to this level because it acts as the capillary space. So the liquid level rises up to this. So when you see from the top, then the surface of the liquid meniscus appears like here circular cross section, here also circular cross section like this. Circular cross section like this. So when you see from the top, the surface of the meniscus is up to this. Okay, now in this case, what is the capillary rise? This is the capillary rise, that is equal to question mark. That is the question. Very, very important, previously asked in advance. Okay, in order to find the capillary rise here, at the surface of the meniscus, no doubt as the liquid level rises, the surface of the meniscus is convex. Here it is just, it appears like a ring, like this ring, ring here. It is depressed at the middle around the circumference. It depressed along the circular here. From the top, when you see the surface of the meniscus, it appears like a annular ring having inner radius and outer radius. Here actually, inner radius of, here the radius of the rod is R1. Radius of the capillary tube is R2. Radius of the capillary tube is R2. Radius of the rod is equal to R1. Okay. Now, from the top, when you see the surface of the liquid, it appears like an annual ring and which is depressed at the middle. Depressed at the middle. You see, the shape of the liquid is like, the shape of the meniscus is like this along the, around the rod. Okay. In such a way, the shape of the liquid is there. Now, here, why the capillarity phenomena occurs in this glass, in this capillary tube? Here at this meniscus, the point of the liquid surface in contact with the inner wall of the capillary tube at this point due to surface tension. At this point, when you draw the tangent to the surface of the liquid, then the tangent is along this direction. So surface tension is along this direction. Angle of contact here is theta. So this is also theta. Then vertical component of the surface tension acts on the outer circumference of the meniscus because this is the surface tension at the outer circumference. That's why at the outer, on the outer circumference at this point, the surface tension component acts on the outer circumference of the meniscus in this tube is T cos theta acts upwards. Similarly, at this point of contact on the surface of the meniscus with the glass rod, the surface tension at this point is, of course, it is a glass capillary tube, it is a glass rod, so angle of contact is same. That's why at this point of contact, when you draw the tangent, then the tangent is along this direction, and this angle of contact is theta, so this is also theta. Then surface tension is along tangential direction. Their component along vertical direction is also equal to T cos theta. Okay, on the outer circumference of the meniscus, due to surface tension T cos theta, what is the force acts in upward direction? Force on meniscus due to surface tension, comma, F is equal to, tell me, due to surface tension component T cos theta, the force acts on the outer meniscus, the force acts on the outer circumference of the meniscus is equal to T cos theta into outer circumference is equal to 2 pi R2. T cos theta into 2 pi R2. Okay, it is the force due to surface tension acts on the outer meniscus of the capillary tube. Because the outer circumference is equal to 2 pi R2 now. Therefore, force due to surface tension acts on the outer circumference of the meniscus as it is in contact with the inner walls of the capillary tube in vertical upward direction is equal to this one. Plus, at the same time, the inner circumference of the meniscus, which is in contact with the glass rod, the force due to surface tension component T cos theta acts on the inner circumference of the meniscus along vertical upward direction is equal to T cos theta into length of the free liquid surface on the surface of the meniscus in contact with the glass rod is equal to 2 pi into small r1. So T cos theta into 2 pi small r1. Are you followed this point? Are you followed this one? It is okay. Right. In this, you take 2 pi T cos theta common. 2 pi T cos theta when you take common, remaining is 2 pi T cos theta when you take common, then remaining is R2 plus R1. 2 pi T cos theta when you take an R2 plus R1 is the R2 plus R1. This is the force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus in this capillary tube provided with glass rod symmetrically is equal to this one. As this force acts on the meniscus vertically upward direction, the liquid column rises until the weight of the liquid column in the capillary tube that rises, whose height capillary is equal to H. The weight of this liquid column that rises in the capillary tube must be balanced by this force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus. So weight of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube, weight of liquid column that rises in the capillary tube, that rises in the tube, H is equal to, H we need, weight we had to calculate, mg. M means, you see, area of cross section of this liquid column is equal to, from here inside this capillary tube, as the rod is there, we have to subtract from this total area of cross section, you subtract the area of cross section of the glass rod. Then that gives the area of cross section of the liquid column in the capillary tube having height small h. That's why area of cross section is pi into R2 square minus R1 square. Pi R2 square minus pi R1 square. Pi R2 square means total area of cross section. From this area of cross section of the rod you subtract. Then area of cross section of this liquid column only you will get. That is having height h. That's why this area of cross section to height gives volume of the liquid column in the capillary tube that rises into density gives mass into z, weight. Okay, this is the weight of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube. As we know, under equilibrium, the force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus in vertically upward direction balances the weight of the liquid column in the capillary tube that rises due to surface tension phenomena or due to capillarity phenomena. F means already we got 2 pi T cos theta something. 2 pi T cos theta into R2 plus R1 is equal to mg means this one, pi into R2 square minus R1 square into H rho z. Okay, therefore here pi cancel. We need H no. So capillary rise H is equal to 2T cos theta into R2 plus R1 whole by remaining here rho z into R2 square minus R1 square. Here this can be written as a plus b into a minus b. A plus b cancel, a minus b only there. Therefore, h is equal to 2t cos theta by rho z into r2 minus r1. This is the capillary rise. Since r2 square minus r1 square is equal to r2 plus r1 into r2 minus r1. R2 minus R1. Okay. So H is the capillary rise. Of course, rho, you know, density of liquid. This is the capillary rise. Okay. So in this way, we can find the capillary rise. In the capillary tube, in which a rod is inserted symmetrically. Okay. Note down. Have you noted? Shall I write this one? Okay. Right. Next, 13th one. Suppose two glass plates are kept parallel to each other and very near to each other. Two glass plates are kept parallel to each other and very near to each other. Two glass plates are kept parallel to each other and very near to each other, so that these two are separated by a distance d, which is very much less. It is in the order of millimeter only. It is the order of millimeter only, very small. Okay, this d is very small. D is the distance between the two glass plates, parallel glass plates. That is very, very small. It is in mm only. Then the space between the two parallel glass plates behaves like a capillary space. Because of capillary space, capillary phenomena exist in the liquid between the two plates. In such a way, the two plates are kept nearer to each other. Suppose if the two plates are kept away each other, then there is no capillary action. There is no capillary action. But whenever the distance between the two plates is very small, it is in the order of millimeter, less than 1 millimeter. Then because of capillary phenomena, the liquid level rises. Here, suppose these two glass plates are kept at separation d, parallel to each other symmetrically, and these two plates are kept nearer to each other in the liquid, so that a part of it is submerged in the liquid. Suppose the liquid submerges up to this, say. Like this. Then because of capillary phenomena, the liquid level rises up to certain level. Because of capillary phenomena, the liquid level rises in between the two glass plates up to this. Then whenever the liquid level rises up to this level, from the top, when you see the surface of the liquid or surface of the meniscus, then the surface of the meniscus is semi-cylindrical, hemispherical. The surface of the liquid film, surface of the liquid in contact with the glass plate, when you observe, this surface of the liquid in contact with the glass plate is parallel to this length of the plate. Suppose this length of the plate is say B. Here in this direction also same. Here the surface of the liquid in contact with the glass plate, here also same. It is like this. It is like this. Okay. Like this. The capillary rise in the space between the two plates is, capillary rise means, you see, in the beaker the liquid surface is this one. Because of capillarity action, the liquid level rises up to this one. This is the rise in the liquid level in the space between the two plates. This is capital H, small h. H is the capillary rise in between the space between the two plates. Capillary rise. That capillary rise is equal to question mark. Capillary rise is question mark. The distance between the two plates is d given. Length of the plate is given. Okay, now what is the capillary rise they asked? Here, suppose at this point of contact to the surface of the liquid, you draw a tangent. The tangent is along this direction. Angle made by this tangent with the surface of this solid or glass plate inside the liquid, that is angle of contact here. Then surface tension acts on the at this point of contact in this direction. You take the here, if it is theta, this is theta. Then you take the component of this surface tension along vertical direction, that is equal to T cos theta. Similarly, here also, at this point of contact of the liquid surface with glass plate, when you draw a tangent, then the tangent makes an angle theta with some glass plate inside the liquid. Then this is the direction of the surface tension. Their component along vertical direction is equal to T cos theta, horizontal T sin theta. This T sin theta cancel. Of course, you need not draw. T sin theta, both are cancelled each other. Okay, now only along vertical direction on the surface of the meniscus of the liquid in between the two glass plates, the force due to surface tension acts. So force due to surface tension is equal to weight of the liquid that rises in the space between the two plates under equilibrium. Under equilibrium, the force due to surface tension acts on the liquid surface or meniscus in between the two plates of the capillary tube, balances the weight of the liquid column that rises in the space between the two plates above the surface of the liquid in a beaker. Okay, now here the surface of the meniscus is this one. Surface of the meniscus is this one. This is the surface of the meniscus, and it is the vertical height of the capillary. It is the capillary rise. It is the capillary rise. The distance between two plates is equal to small d. Okay. Now, what is the force due to surface tension? For surface tension component T cos theta vertical upward direction. What is the length of the free liquid surface in contact with the glass plate? Whatever the length of the glass plate in this direction, that much length of the free liquid surface in contact with the glass plate. That's why force due to surface tension acts on the liquid surface at this place in vertical upward direction is equal to T cos theta into length L. No, ఇక్కడ ఈ లిక్విడ్ సర్ఫేస్ దీంతో కాంటాక్ట్ ఉంది కదా, గ్లాస్ ప్లేట్ తో కాంటాక్ట్ లో ఉంది. ఇది గ్లాస్ ప్లేట్ తో కాంటాక్ట్ లో ఉంది కదా. దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ గ్లాస్ ప్లేట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ అనదర్ గ్లాస్ ప్లేట్. దీస్ టూ ఆర్ ది గ్లాస్ ప్లేట్స్. Okay, the surface of liquid in contact with the glass plate having length equal to length of the glass plate here. So force due to surface tension acts on the surface of the liquid in vertical upward direction equal to T cos theta into length of the free liquid surface in contact with the glass plate, L. In this side also, the length of the free liquid surface in contact with the glass plate is same L only. Force surface tension component upwards is T cos theta. That's why this side also force due to surface tension is equal to T cos theta into L. So totally 2T cos theta into L is the force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus or acts on the surface of the liquid in the space between the two plates. That balances the weight of the liquid column rises in the capillary tube. That is equal to weight of the liquid column means, here you see, this is the distance between them and it is the height. So distance into height gives area of cross section of the liquid column now, into length gives volume now. Of course, here the size of the meniscus can be neglected when compared with the height of the liquid column. Okay, that's why this height of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube into distance between the two plates D, that gives the area of cross section of the liquid column, into length of liquid column that rises in the capillary tube gives volume of the liquid column, into density gives mass of the liquid column, into Z, weight of the liquid column. This shape of the meniscus, the liquid in the meniscus can be ignored when compared with this height. Okay, because it is fraction of, it is part of the millimeter, but it is equal to 3 centimeter, 2 centimeter, like that. That's why when compared with the height of the capillary rise or height of liquid column, the height of the meniscus can be negligible. That's why we need not consider the mass of the liquid in the meniscus. అంటే మనం క్రాస్ సెక్షన్ కనుక కీన్ గా అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే మినిస్కస్ ఇట్లా ఉంటుంది. మనం ఇక్కడ దాకా హైట్ మెజర్ చేస్తాం, ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడికి హెచ్ అని. ఈ పార్ట్ లో ఉన్న లిక్విడ్ మనం కన్సిడర్ చేయట్లా, ఎందుకంటే డి ఇంటూ హెచ్ గివ్స్ ఏరియా ఆఫ్ డి ఇంటూ హెచ్ గివ్స్ ఏరియా ఆఫ్ క్రాస్ సెక్షన్ అన్నాం. ఈ అంటే ఇక్కడ వరకు ఇదేమో డిస్టెన్స్ డి, ఇదేమో హెచ్. డి ఇంటూ హెచ్ అంటే ఇక్కడ వరకు ఉన్న ఏరియా ఆఫ్ క్రాస్ సెక్షన్ అవుతాం. ఇది కన్సిడర్ చేయట్లా, ఎందుకంటే ఈ లిక్విడ్ యొక్క మాస్ నెగ్లిజిబుల్ కంపేర్డ్ విత్ దిస్ మాస్ ఆఫ్ ది లిక్విడ్. ఓకే, సో H into this D gives area of cross section of the liquid column into length of the liquid column is equal to L. That is the volume of the liquid column that rises in the space between the two plates above the surface of the liquid in the beaker. Okay, into density gives mass, into G gives weight. So from this we need capillary rise H. Here L cancel now. This L cancel. Okay, that implies small h is equal to 2t cos theta by d rho z. This is the capillary rise. It is the capillary rise. 2t cos theta by d rho z. 2t cos theta by d rho z. This formula is also important one. Note down. Shall I raise? Right. What is the note number 13 or 12? 14. 13 or 14? 14. Okay, next. Suppose it is the beaker. It is the beaker. One capillary tube is kept vertically in the beaker, whose radius of the capillary tube is smaller. Okay, the liquid is taken in the beaker up to certain level. So okay, because of capillarity phenomena, the liquid level rises up to certain height, say h. Okay, here actually why the liquid level rises in the capillary tube? What is the reason why the liquid level rises in the capillary tube? What is the reason? Because of force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus in vertically upward direction. Okay, at this point of contact, when you draw the tangent, then this is the angle of contact, then it is the direction of the surface tension, then you take the component of the surface tension in this direction, that is t cos theta. So because of force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus in the liquid in a capillary tube vertically upwards, then the liquid level rises. Here the liquid level rises up to a height h, no, up to a height h. Then what is the work done by the surface tension on the liquid column in rising through a height equal to capillary rise h? Surface tension, force due to surface tension valla liquid level h height rise అయింది కాబట్టి what is the work done by the surface tension on the liquid column in the capillary tube in raising the liquid column up to a height small h? We have to calculate. So what is the work done by the surface tension on the liquid column in raising the liquid column up to a height capital H, small h is equal to what? So we have to derive the formula for it. Okay, that is simple concept only. So in this case, force due to, here suppose the capillary is this one, no? Force due to surface tension acts on the liquid column. Acts on liquid column means acts on the meniscus in vertically upward direction is, okay, first here we had to write work done by surface tension. Work done by surface tension in rising the liquid column through a height small h. Through a height small h or capitalized small h is equal to force due to surface tension acts on the meniscus 2 pi t into, sorry, t cos theta into 2 pi r or 2 pi r into t cos theta. It is the force due to surface tension into displacement of the meniscus. Displacement of the meniscus means actually the liquid column in the capillary tube must be at the same level as that in the beaker. But because of capillarity phenomena, the meniscus of the liquid rises up to this height. That's why the displacement of the meniscus in the capillary tube is equal to h. So force due to surface tension into displacement h. That is the work done by surface tension in raising the liquid column through a height small h. Okay. So from this, but in this case, what is the formula for surface tension? Already we proved, we derived now. By this capillarized by this capillarized phenomena, the force, the surface tension acts on the surface tension of the liquid that rises in the capillary tube T is equal to RH rho z by 2 cos theta formula we derived now. But surface tension T is equal to RH rho z by 2 cos theta formula we derived. Okay, now we substitute this value here. Therefore, work done by surface tension is equal to 2 pi r into t means t cos theta means RH rho z by 2. T cos theta is equal to, here instead of t cos theta I substituted this one. T cos theta is equal to RH rho z by 2 into h is there, into h. Therefore, work done by surface tension in raising the liquid level through a height small h is equal to, here you see 2 to cancel, pi r into r, pi r square, h into h square, rho only one row, one z is there, so rho into z. This is the work done by surface tension on the liquid column in raising the liquid column through a height small h. This is also important. So whenever work is done by the surface tension on the liquid column in raising the height, through a height h is equal to this one. It must be stored in the potential as in the form of a potential energy. You know, what is the potential energy of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube? First, you find that also. Potential energy of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube. Potential energy of liquid column that rises in the capillary tube. U is equal to mass of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube above the liquid surface in the beaker. అంటే ఈ బేకర్ లో ఉన్న లిక్విడ్ సర్ఫేస్ పైన ఎంత హైట్ వరకు అయితే లిక్విడ్ కాలం రైజ్ అయిందో దాని యొక్క పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీ. మాస్ ఆఫ్ ది లిక్విడ్ కాలం దట్ రైజెస్ ఇన్ ద capillary tube above the surface of the liquid in a beaker into G into here the mass of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube is equal to M into G into height of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube is equal to total length of the liquid column is H. In order to find the formula for potential energy, mgh is the potential energy, H is the height up to which this mass is lifted. But the mass of the liquid, rises in the capillary tube is extended through a length equal to H. That's why in the capillary rise, you consider the central mass concept. In case of central mass concept, suppose the total mass of the liquid column here is M. Then that can be imagined at the central mass of this liquid column, that is at this point, which is at height h/2 from the surface of the liquid. That's why potential energy of the liquid column in the capillary tube that rises is equal to h/2. That is the potential energy of the liquid column in the capillary tube, which is equal to, in terms of this only you write, mass of the liquid column means area of cross section pi r square into height of the liquid column gives volume into density gives mass into Z into h/2. Therefore, potential energy of the liquid column in the capillary tube is equal to pi r square h square rho Z by 2. Pi r square h square rho Z by 2. This is the formula for potential energy of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube due to surface tension. Is the work done by the surface tension in raising the liquid column in the capillary tube and potential energy stored are both equal? Are both equal or not? Because of work done by the surface tension on the liquid column in the capillary tube, the liquid level rises up to height h. So work done in this case by the surface tension is equal to this one. Is this work done is totally stored in the liquid column as the potential energy? No, only half of the work done is stored in the form of potential energy. But what about the remaining work done? Remaining work done, no, not kinetic energy. Liquid level is liquid level moves with certain velocity in this. Bashwan, is the liquid column when rises in the capillary tube, is it moving with certain velocity in the capillary tube? No, that is under equilibrium only. That is under equilibrium only. That's why this work done, a part of this work done by the surface tension in raising the liquid column is stored in the form of a potential energy, and the remaining energy is evolved in the form of heat energy. The remaining energy is evolved in the form of heat energy. Okay, what is the heat energy evolved? Heat energy evolved. Heat energy evolved, capital Q is equal to work done by surface tension minus potential energy. And in the total work done W by surface tension, a part of it is stored in the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube as the potential energy, and the remaining energy is emitted in the form of heat energy. That's why what is the heat energy evolved means this one is the heat energy evolved, which is equal to work done by surface tension means pi r square h square rho Z minus potential energy means pi r square h square rho Z by 2. Therefore, heat energy evolved or heat energy ejected is equal to, when you take LCM, you will get pi r square h square rho Z by 2. As heat energy is evolved, we have to write plus sign. Plus sign represents heat energy is evolved, minus sign represents heat energy is lost. Here, this is the heat energy produced. If heat energy is absorbed, minus we have to write. Okay, this is the remaining part of work done is produced in the form of heat energy. Okay. Is video is properly reaches you or not? You please respond to the remaining people. Is the video is properly streaming to you or not? Okay, okay. To some people it is not good. I think because of signal problem there. For most of the people it is streaming properly. Properly means it's not excellent, but we can see. Okay. Right. So this is also important one. Next. Okay, you note that one. Language classes, I think language classes are there, but when they will be started, I don't know, but in near future they will be started because it is November 24th. So in April month, I think we will be having IP exams. That's why definitely language classes will be started from 25th onwards. Okay, okay. From 25th onwards, somebody else, students only, from you only somebody is telling. From 25th onwards, we will be having language classes according to the information from you only, from students. Okay. Yeah, from 24th means tomorrow onwards only, no? Next. Shall I erase this one? Shall I erase this one? So today, based on this, you have to do the problems. Tomorrow, you have to prepare the viscosity. Already, I said Poiseuille's equation, critical velocity, etc. No, the velocity of the fluid at which streamline flow is converted into turbulent flow is called critical velocity. I said no. So based on that, problems we have to do. So tomorrow we will do the problems related to Poiseuille's equation, etc. Okay. Viscosity topic is completed already, but we could not do problems. You did the problems, but some different problems we will do on the board. I will give the assignment also. Some problems I will do on the board. Almost all these are only the topics in next week. These are means this in surface tension up to this and viscosity. Viscosity means already terminal velocity, Poiseuille's equation are completed. No, critical velocity. Those topics are there in this week. As already they are completed to you. Those concepts are already completed. That's why up to this only you are having weekend exam. Okay. Now 15th one. Very, very important. It was previously asked in advance. A glass capillary tube is in the shape of the truncated cone. Actually, here you see. It is the beaker. It is the beaker. Of course, it is filled with liquid up to certain level. It is filled with liquid up to certain level. So instead of here glass capillary tube means generally that glass capillary tube is having totally the same bore, having same area of cross section or uniform area of cross section. Generally, the glass capillary tube is having a bore having uniform area of cross section. But here, glass capillary tube is in the form of a truncated cone. Truncated cone means the bore, the radius of the bore in the capillary tube changes linearly with length. In such a way, a capillary tube is taken, which is called truncated cone. So a glass capillary tube in the form of the shape of a truncated cone. So a glass capillary tube is like this. This is the glass capillary tube. Of course, the diameter or radius is less than 1 mm only, like that only. It is called truncated cone. Capillary tube, it is capillary tube only. That means radius is less than 1 mm only, but it is in the form of truncated cone like this. That means the radius of cross section gradually decreases when you comes down. Capillary tube in truncated cone form. Truncated cone form. Truncated cone form. Okay. Here, whenever this capillary tube in the form of truncated cone is kept submerged in the liquid, so that a part of it is above the surface of liquid and a part is below the surface of liquid and kept vertically. The liquid level rises up to certain height because of capillarity phenomena. Suppose the liquid level rises up to this. The liquid level rises up to this. The vertical height of the liquid column that rises in the capillary tube is equal to small h. That is capillary rise. That is equal to capillary rise. Under equilibrium, as the liquid is under equilibrium, the pressure at this point and the pressure at this point both must be same because they are at the same horizontal level. It is say A, it is say B. Under equilibrium, pressure at A, pressure at B, both must be same. That is one condition. Here the question is, I will read the question. You see, a glass capillary tube is of the shape of truncated cone with an apex angle alpha. With apex angle alpha means, suppose if you extend this cone along the same path, okay, then apex angle means this angle, the angle made by the surface of the truncated cone at the vertex, that is called apex angle. That apex angle is given as alpha. This is the apex angle. So alpha is called apex angle. That apex angle is given as alpha. Apex angle. So here, a glass capillary tube is of the shape of the truncated cone with an apex angle alpha, so that its two ends have cross sections of different radii. Actually, the capillary tube is up to this only. These two cross sections are having different radii. These two cross sections are having different radii. Okay. This angle is alpha. The truncated cone is taken up to this only. Okay, but apex angle is equal to alpha. That means angle made by the opposite surfaces at the vertex is the apex angle, that is given as alpha. That is having cross sections of different radii at different points here. Okay, now it is it is dipped in the water vertically. Then water rises up to a height of h. That is the capillary rise in the truncated cone, where the radius of cross section is b. Here you see, this is the axis of the truncated cone. The radius of the cross section where the liquid level rises, up to which level liquid level rises here, that is equal to small r. Here this radius of this cone or radius of the truncated cone up to which the liquid level rises is having radius b. This is given as b. If the surface tension of the water is s. Surface tension of water is equal to s given. Instead of t, s is given. Of course, surface tension is t, that is given as s. Surface tension t, that is given as s here in this problem. Okay, it's the density of water. Density of water is rho given, and angle of contact is theta. Angle of contact is equal to theta, that is given. Then the value of h will be, g is the acceleration due to gravity. Then what is the value of capillary rise? Capillary rise is how much? Capillary rise is equal to question mark. Okay, this is the problem they asked. Here, shape of the meniscus is like this, no? It is the shape of the meniscus, no? Suppose it is in the form of it is a part of the sphere. That's why if you construct the sphere by using this meniscus, because it is a water, no. In case of water and glass, the meniscus is sphere in the form of a sphere like this. Okay, it is the center of the sphere. It is the center of the sphere. It is the center of the sphere, and it is the, suppose if you extend this surface in this direction, then it appears like a sphere. That's why this meniscus is the part of the sphere of radius. Radius of the sphere means this one. This is the radius of the sphere, or this is the radius of the sphere. This is the radius of the sphere, capital R. That is given. Okay, now here you see, here it is the meniscus now. At this point of contact, of the liquid surface with the inner wall of the truncated cone, when you draw the tangent, at this point, when you draw the tangent, that is normal to this line, okay. This is the direction of the surface tension, and the angle made by the tangent drawn at this point of contact to the surface of the liquid, okay, makes an angle theta with the surface of the solid inside the liquid. And idega, this surface is outside the liquid. This surface of the solid inside the liquid means this one, that is equal to angle of contact theta. That is given. Okay, now what about excess of pressure inside the meniscus? ఈ meniscus లోపల excess of pressure ఎంత? Just below the meniscus, ఇక్కడ pressure P అనుకుంటే, what is that pressure? Just below the meniscus. Pressure P is what? Just below the meniscus, pressure P అనుకుంటే, is outside pressure is atmospheric pressure. Outside pressure is atmospheric pressure. Just below the meniscus, pressure is P. Then what is the pressure difference across the meniscus? What is the pressure difference across the meniscus? Tell me, what is the pressure difference across the meniscus? Pressure difference across the meniscus means no doubt P naught is greater than P. That's why liquid meniscus is depressed. That's why just below the meniscus, pressure is equal to P. Therefore, P naught minus P is the excess of pressure, no, or difference between the pressures across the meniscus, which is equal to, as it is having single surface and the radius of this meniscus is capital R, then 2T by capital R we can write. 2T by capital R, because radius of the meniscus here is capital R, not B. So this is equal to 2 into S by capital R, because surface tension is given as S by capital R, 2S by capital R. Okay, this is one relation we can have. Okay, therefore, from the diagram, if you know the pressure here, we can write the pressure here. That's why I'm calculating the pressure at this point. From this, P is equal to P naught plus 2 into S by capital R. This is equation 1. Now, what about S by R? What about R? From this diagram, R is not given, B is given. In terms of B, we have to write R value. That is our task. If you know that one, then we can write the equations directly. Okay, how we can write, tell me? If it is here, if it is alpha, then this is alpha by 2. This is alpha by 2. So this angle is alpha by, sorry, this is 90 minus alpha by 2. This is 90 minus alpha by 2. Okay. If it is 90 minus alpha by 2, then what about this angle? What about this angle? All of you see carefully. It is right angle triangle. If it is alpha by 2, this angle is 90 minus alpha by 2. This angle is 90 minus alpha by 2. Okay. It is 90 minus alpha by 2. These two are not perpendicular. That's why it is not alpha by 2. Okay. If it is 90 minus alpha by 2, what about this angle? I need this angle. How we can write this angle? That is important. Tell me how we can write. If it is 90 minus alpha by 2, this is equal to 90 minus alpha by 2 minus theta. 90 minus of alpha by 2 plus theta. 90 minus of alpha by 2 plus theta is this one. Then this is equal to, because this and this both are perpendicular. If it is 90 minus of alpha by 2 plus theta, this is equal to alpha by 2 plus theta. So this angle is equal to alpha by 2 plus theta. So this angle is equal to alpha by 2 plus theta. So from this right angle triangle, here these two are perpendicular. Okay. From this right angle triangle, you take B is given. So cos alpha by 2 plus theta. From diagram, cos alpha by 2 plus theta is equal to cos alpha by 2 plus theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. That means B by capital R. From this R is equal to B by cos of theta plus alpha by 2. Cos theta plus alpha by 2 or alpha plus alpha by 2 plus theta. Theta plus alpha by 2. Okay, this is equation 2. So from this 1 by R is known. Okay, keep like this. Now under equilibrium, pressure at A and pressure at B both are equal now. As pressure at A is equal to pressure at B. What is pressure at A? As it is open to atmosphere, only atmosphere pressure acts. So P naught. Pressure at B means just below the meniscus as the pressure is P plus because of the height of the equity column at this point pressure H rho Z. Because capital rise here is from this point, the liquid level is up to a height H, no? That's why H rho Z. Now we substitute the values here. P naught is equal to P means from this equation to P means P naught plus 2S by R. P naught plus 2S by capital R. Okay, that is P plus H rho Z plus H rho Z. Of course. Okay. No. Is it correct? P naught minus, no? It is P naught minus 2T by R or PS by R, not plus. P naught minus. So there also. Okay. So P naught minus. So here P naught cancel. So 2S by capital R is equal to H rho into Z. Capital R is not given. So we have to find. So 2S is equal to R H rho Z. Or 2S is equal to capital R means from equation 2 capital R is equal to. It is from equation 1 we have substituted this value. From equation 2, from 2 instead of capital R we can write B by something. B by cos theta plus alpha by 2 into instead of R I have substituted this one. Remaining H rho Z, you write H rho Z. That's all. They asked the capillary rise, no? Therefore, capillary rise small h is equal to remaining you write on left side. Then 2S into cos theta plus alpha by 2 whole by B rho Z. B rho Z. I think this is the answer. That is the capillary rise. 2S cos theta plus alpha by 2 by B rho Z. Yeah, that is the answer. Note down. That is only answer. Note down. Where P naught? Where P naught, Swarantesh? Where P naught? P is equal to P naught minus 2S by R, no? PA is equal to, at this point, the pressure is equal to atmosphere pressure only because it is open to atmosphere. What's Swarantesh? What is your doubts? What's Swarantesh? Okay. Now it's okay. Now it is okay, Swarantesh. Swarantesh, next Rutvik. Okay, right. Note down. This is also important one. In the satellite, when capillary rise experiment is performed, what is the capillary rise? If the capillary rise method is performing in the satellite, then what is the capillary rise? In satellite, what is the effective acceleration? In satellite, what is the effective acceleration? 0. When effective acceleration is 0, whatever the capillary rise, from the formula T is equal to RH rho Z by 2 cos theta, H is equal to what? Infinity. H is equal to infinity means there is no possibility for the liquid level to rise to infinity. So up to what length the liquid level rises? Up to full length of the capillary tube above the surface of the liquid. Am I right? So 16th one, in satellite as G effective is equal to 0, then H is equal to infinity, since T is equal to RH rho Z by 2 cos theta. Okay, therefore that is liquid level rises up to full length of the capillary tube. Liquid level rises up to full length of the capillary tube. Liquid level rises up to full length of capillary tube. Up to full length of the tube. Okay, so these are the some important points related to capillary rise method. Okay, today based on this one, you have to do the problems. If any other points are there related to this topic, tomorrow I will explain, and we complete these concepts, this surface tension chapter. Okay. Next, suppose on the surface of the earth, the capillary rise is small h. On the surface of the earth, capillary rise is small h. On the surface of the moon, if the same experiment is done with the same equipment, then what is the capillary rise, they asked. So on the surface of the moon, on the surface of the earth, only effective acceleration changes. On the moon, acceleration G is equal to G only. On the moon, acceleration due to gravity is G by 6. 1/6 of the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth. Then what is the capillary rise on the surface of the moon? Capillary rise on the surface of the earth is H. Then from the formula T is equal to RH rho G by 2 cos theta, same equipment is used there also on the surface of the moon also. That's why T is constant, same capillary tube, R is constant, rho is constant, cos theta is also constant. Only H value and G value changes. So Hg is equal to constant. H1 G1 is equal to H2 Z2. On the surface of the earth, capillary rise is H into acceleration due to gravity G. Yeah, 6x, correct. You are right, Punit Kumar. That is equal to capillary rise on the surface of the moon is H dash into acceleration due to gravity, there is G by 6. Gg cancel, then H dash is equal to 6 into H. So on the surface of the earth, if the capillary rise is H, on the surface of the moon with the same equipment, the capillary rise becomes 6H. Okay, sometimes they may ask, if the radius of the earth is doubled or shrink, the radius of the earth shrinks so that radius becomes half, then what is the capillary rise? Like that they may ask. In such cases, what about the effective acceleration due to gravity when radius changes or expands or shrinks, etc.? You find effective acceleration due to gravity and you substitute there. What will be the capillary rise? We can calculate. Okay, this is the capillary, this is the surface tension capillary rise phenomena note points. If any remaining few 2-3 note points may be left over. Okay, if there are any other points are there, I will explain tomorrow for half an hour, and I will conclude the chapter tomorrow. Okay, right. Have a nice time. Signing out. Bye, all of you. Shall I sign out? Shall I sign out? Yeah, 6H is correct only. Pashwant. Okay, Nana. Bye, all of you. We will meet in study hour at 8 o'clock. Okay. Definitely, we will meet in study hour. Today, we will be having study hour. Bye, Nana, all of you. Have lunch and take rest for 1 hour. Yeah, I will upload immediate. Now only I will upload.